I hope that looked good. I hope that looked good. Welcome to 2026. Here with the DeFi Professor. Good to see you guys. Um, I'm gonna play that again. I really enjoyed that. Thanks to Google VO for making some stuff for me. And it spelled it correctly. That's the better part. It spelled it correctly and all that. What I do need to do, actually, really quick, is fix my share so it actually goes to the correct site, because I know that it's not currently. I don't even know where it's supposed to go, but it needs to go to what we have up here. So let me fix that. Hopefully everyone's doing well. I apologize, I don't have this exactly ready. Yeah, that's not the right one. Let's fix it. Oh, the screen share's locked. That's not good. There you go. There we go. That's better. All right. Let me check to see how big this window actually is, because I think you probably can't read any of that. Where's my actual stream window? Bear with me. Okay. So this is the Work With Me stream. What do we do at this stream? We go through, we look at the week's news in terms of crypto and DeFi, and we put it together for a newsletter for my education group, Beacon DeFi. For the members that are there, specifically in our mastermind group, they get a newsletter from me every Monday that outlines exactly what's going on in the world of crypto. Let's make this bigger. Okay. So let's start with that. Hopefully everyone's doing really well. Happy New Year. I know we were live on Friday for Beat the Banks. You know, I should probably turn this light on behind me. That'll probably make me look a little bit bigger. A little bit, not bigger, better. We're off to a rousing start, are we not? Shout out to everybody who is on the chat, whether you're on Retake or Den.show, Abstract, where else we have? Blaze.stream, Twitch, my YouTube channel. Hopefully everyone is doing well. Feel free to pop in anything you want in the chat. Happy to answer any of those questions for you. Let me grab that chat so I can actually see what people are saying. Hello to Ariana, good to see you. There we go. Okay. So this is one of multiple things that I use specifically. I mean, I really just streamed this part because it can be kind of fun to go through the actual news that's coming on. This is Feedly that I use specifically. So if you are looking to figure out ways to figure out how to stay on top of your research, I aggregate 8 or so sources here. So that's what this is going to be about. Let me change. I'm going to change this screen so that it is a little bit bigger, because I noticed. Well, maybe not. It's trying to keep. It's trying to keep. It's trying to keep. It's trying to keep the ratio, which is fine. Let's do this. Yeah. Okay. We'll work with that. Anyhow, yeah. Let's go and get through the news. Let me just do one quick thing. Okay, so let's do two things before we get started. First thing I definitely want to do is check the. I haven't looked at the markets since early this morning. Oh, come on, brothers. I come to this website all the time. There we go. 94.3 is where we're at. So, what can we really say about what we're seeing right now? I think a lot of just the reloading, the de-risking of everything that's going on has finished. Now, we still have a couple things to look out for. January 16th is the day that the MSIC is going to delist strategy, MicroStrategy, from its indexes because it believes that it is not a true fund, because its major purpose is to buy as much Bitcoin as possible. Now, we've seen a lot of news about that, and I should probably check to see where we are at specifically on that. But that is something that is a big deal, right? Is that what it's called? MSI? Is MSCI? MSCI probably, right? Yeah, MSCI. That's what I thought. All right, so yeah, January 15th. This is something that's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens here if this actually gets. Um, I mean, I think it's more. I don't know how this is going to shake out. Is it something that some people are really worried about? Yes. Um, will anything? It's a wait and see. We'll see specifically how this works out. But that is something that's in the background, kind of looming. Now, we've had a bit of a squeeze on BTC. There are quite a few shorts that were liquidated, sending Bitcoin a bit higher. So we'll see exactly what did I do here. We'll see specifically where we're at. Now, when we looked at the 2025 last week on our Total Value Locked recap show with Robert and Ken, what we did see is that we saw a little. I mean, obviously where Bitcoin was at the end of 2024 to where we were at the end of 2025, a little bit of a retrace, right? Obviously, went to an all-time high, went quite below 90K, and then back up to settling roughly around, I think 87 was where we were. Let's look. Yeah, 87 is where we were at. At the beginning of the year, we were at 90. It was a little bit lower than that. So we saw quite an interesting look, right? We went down to 82, back up to 130, well, 128, I think is the all-time high now. 126.080. So, are we going to squeeze back onto that territory? I don't think that's going to happen yet. There's a lot of skittishness. There's obviously a lot of interest right now, specifically in oil, after the U.S. went after Venezuela to remove Maduro, who wasn't even the recognized leader, to really just form a blockade and just take control of the oil. Now, oil overall, I think, is just kind of sitting lower. I think it was at 55 when I saw futures yesterday. I haven't looked to see where it's at today, but a lot of geopolitical factors can really hit risk markets like this. Mainly because there's a lot of money moving around in particular. But there's a lot of bullish news that's happened over the past 24 hours that we should probably look into. So let's go ahead and start here. We'll head back to our aggregator. We will start with, let's see, this is 8 minutes ago. Really, Arbitrum's breakout year redefines Ethereum scaling. I mean, they did have a breakout year, right? The price may not necessarily reflect that, but they did have a breakout year. One big thing that happened was they were named they're one of the 9 chains technically in BlackRock's BUIDL strategy. They are the hub chain for Tether, with Omnichain Tether, for their Omnichain version of native USDT. So that Arbitrum's at the center of that. They're still, a major L2. TVL wise, they've kind of fallen behind base at this point, but overall, they're still, one of the top blockchains that are out there. I mean, they're the front door for Hyperliquid Core. So there's still a lot to like about Arbitrum. I should probably grab this. Actually, I already liked it. No, maybe I did. I'll grab that. Ambassador at Arbitrum. Also an ambassador at Kraken, eh? Interesting. Oh, I see. It was just his look back on Arbitrum. It's not officially from the DAO or off-chain labs or anything like that. Yeah, but Arbitrum is still a great chain. There's nothing to dislike about Arbitrum at all. We'll see exactly how they look at the idea of using zero-knowledge proofs, as they're currently an optimistic roll-up. If there becomes a time where that becomes a thing, that could be huge. Let me bring this down. Starknet was down for 4 hours. I don't really use it. This one's pretty big. This is in my bookmarks already, but Polymarket and Parcel launch real estate prediction markets. Parcel is on Solana. They were a lot of people were farming them in 2024 specifically for a very large airdrop that didn't really pan out. I mean, it was okay. If you had one of the Parcel NFTs, which got very expensive, then you may have gotten a little bit of ROI, but it wasn't huge, right? But this is bullish news specifically for real estate, because it allows, what this is going to allow is the ability to have hotspot heat maps from a prediction standpoint for real estate pricing. So we're going to get information from various parts of the country. Now, are you going to have prediction? Is it worth arbing on prediction markets, seeing if the price of housing is going to go up, let's say in Brooklyn, New York, as opposed to somewhere like Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, or El Paso, Texas, yeah, there could be some correlation there. When you're really just kind of looking to see where a lot of heat maps will be building, specifically not just for, and this isn't necessarily a loan thing. This is really just trying to gauge where pricing is going to be heating up. Because if there's one thing that Polymarket and Kalshi have created, is this idea that the data that gets predicted or at least purchased onto their system with regards to any type of prediction is pretty much interpreted as fact at this point. The fact that, you know, Google, Yahoo, CNN, multiple other companies are signing partnership deals for this data, tells you that at least behind the scenes, stakeholders find real value in this. I don't know if it's because they feel that average people are using these products to push real value through, which frankly I think is not the case. But it at least gives some sort of indicator. Is it a better indicator than pollsters who go out and call people and ask for surveys? To a degree, yes. But at the same time, I don't think it's changed just the way that data is going to flow. It's more about the method about how data is going to be aggregated, I guess would be the best word. How we're going to go and grab data from around the country. Because this will tie in to a lot of local markets. So you should be able to at least get some interesting insights. If people start to create markets like, is the median home in Oklahoma City going to go above $300,000 for new builds? That's something that you could have a prediction market around. That the answer to that is actually something that a lot of people might be interested in. Now, are regular everyday people putting in that information? No, they're going to be grabbing it from MLS listings, everywhere in the country. But the idea that they're building infrastructure on top of this, products and services on top of this is the part that I think is the most interesting for us here in DeFi. The only reason being is that at least on the Kalshi side, they're still working on the Polymarket side. You're going to be able to actually tokenize this information and then do whatever you want with it, I suppose. Still really early in this process to see where that goes, but at least on the Kalshi side, because it's now tokenized on Solana, they are first class. Those predictions are now first class token citizens. So they have the ability to have access to all the token extensions that developers can have on Solana. It's really interesting to see what's going to be built. I'm very curious to see what's going to be built. I'm not going to go out and say I'm building something on top of this because I'm not, but if I had to look, this would be information that would be readily available to me and would be encouraged for me to build some stuff on. So there's that. So that's pretty big news. Prediction markets, hottest meta right now, by far. Prediction markets, and then privacy, and then AI agents, and then RWAs after that. But those are going to be the four hottest metas right now. So we'll see where we go from here. La 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 la. Tom Lee calls for a new Bitcoin all-time high in January. Oh, Tom. We'll see. Now, what's interesting is that we're seeing a lot of meme coins starting to rise. We have to be careful how we look at this, right? Because some people will see this as a sign this is altcoin season. This is not altcoin season. We had a bull run that I still think hasn't finished. It doesn't look like it. I mean, in terms of like what this bull run should have been. Could you say that the bull run has had ultimately a lot of delays? Yes. Should the bull run really be called the bull run? There's that too. Um, because we have these super cycles, right? Because the 4-year theory, I definitely believe has been dead for a little bit. Um, but what would be? I mean, are we going from like 64K Bitcoin up to 130, and then if it stops and then goes up to 200K, is the bull market still going on? Yeah, I do think so. I don't think that we're in a, even though there's bearish sentiment, we've got a lot of interesting things happening this year. We've got a whole bunch of integration, right? After 2021 to 2025 has been the era of innovation, disruption. 26 is now going to be the era of integration, uh, with a variety of things, right? We're going to see RWAs, tokenized stocks, uh, world currencies coming on chain through fintech banks. We have Swift partnering with Linea, a layer 2 on Ethereum that's powered by zero knowledge proofs through consensus, with Chainlink, one of the largest off-chain oracles, to provide services for that. I mean, that's still happening. So from an institutional standpoint, this is the integration phase. Now, you as a regular investor, you're going to have a lot of opportunities to get into some protocols that, frankly, are we going to be looking at, gangbusters, meme coin mania of like 2024? No. But will there be better opportunities to create better types of passive income than were previously available? Yes, because a lot of the institutions that are coming down here, they're going to need infrastructure to lay into, right? They're going to want to build things, build offerings for their users. I don't think I see it here just yet, but Bank of America, let me see if I can find it, because that was... Maybe it's not here. Why is it not here? That's interesting. Let me grab it. That was 11 hours ago from Watcher. Okay, so it has to be here. Maybe not. All right, well, let's grab it. The idea is that Bank of America is officially recommending that clients invest up to 4% of their portfolio in Bitcoin and crypto. Now, as you can see by... oh, you silly boys and gals. Is there really a Petro meme coin right now? That's great. Hey, good. Good for them. Okay, so Milk Road is talking about it, which is great. Why am I not following Milk Road? I met them in New York. Interesting. Maybe I was. But yes, this is huge. This is huge when Bank of America does this, because they have a ton of institutional and private clients. Like celebrities use Bank of America. A whole bunch of people use Bank of America. The fact that they're willing to commit up to 4%, it is what it is. Via spot Bitcoin ETFs. This is a little bit different. Okay. Oh, this is interesting too. I'm going to have to save this one. Saving you. 8 trillion moved via stablecoins on Ethereum in a single quarter. That's a large amount. Now, the actual stablecoin market cap right now in DeFi is roughly still under just at the $300 million mark. Are we going to see a $1 trillion in stablecoins soon? Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to happen in 2026. There's just way too many things happening to not stop that momentum, unless the Clarity Act doesn't pass, which I don't think it's not. I think it's going to pass for sure after all the work and all of the let's call them handshakes that have been happening over the last couple of weeks. Now that I believe they're voting on it sometime in the next 10 days. So that'll be a very interesting look to see where we're at. Anyway, let's get back to the news here. But yeah, again, lots of institutional interest coming down. And yes, that's great for people who are clients of theirs. But where we come in as crypto natives, DeFi natives, looking to help people get into this space is you can buy stocks and exposure for that stuff, but why not get the real thing? That's the way I would look at it. It's like you could buy Bitcoin through MicroStrategy, through iBit, through all these places, and make money for them. But you can make money for yourself by holding the actual asset. And on the side of that, understanding the rest of the really cool things that are happening inside of decentralized finance to help, earn additional passive income. That type of thing. That's where we specialize what we do. So feel free to reach out. If that's you, if you're looking for a way to get into this market, understand, right now, stablecoins between 6 and 10% are huge right now. There's a lot of other things, including perp dexes, including prediction markets, fixed rate farming, loan arbitrage. There's at least a dozen strategies you can get into. If this is something you want to try and get into, feel free to reach out. Please do. Oh yeah, and the Fed has deployed hundreds of millions of dollars into the system over the last week. I don't know if you saw that. They're injecting liquidity everywhere in the system right now. Interesting that and I saw this earlier too before I came online. RWAs are being classified as risky according to China. As they double down again on banning crypto mining and crypto in China, unless you're in Hong Kong. It's a different story. There, it's like they're doing everything in their power to push that as hard as they can to Hong Kong native people. I think they still have a gigantic waiting list of people looking to get their licenses in Hong Kong to do crypto. Yeah, and this is what we were talking about too. Home prices becoming tradable events. That's the whole thing with the Polymarket data. I'll be curious to see how Polymarket does this from an infrastructure standpoint, because I think Kalshi has nailed it. They absolutely nailed it by going on to Solana with this. There's just so much good things happening on Solana. I was really shocked that Polymarket hasn't made the inroads that they have. And Kalshi just kind of beat them at their own game at this point. Not saying that they're both are not going to do well. They're going to do great. They're going to be great. But BD at Kalshi, they hired the right Web3 people. They hired the right people with the right relationships and got on the right ecosystems to really make Kalshi sing. And I'm really excited to see what happens with them. People reloading, no shock there. Crypto.com rises 9%. All right. Let's see what happens. Pepe was up too. Yeah, so because Pepe is up, that means that people are looking at Doge, SHIB, and Bonk in a Q1 rally. Is it time to load up on these? I mean, I'm not financial advice, obviously. I mean, if you're a swing trader, could be a good time to look at some of these patterns and kind of figure out if you think that these are the right calculated moves to make right now. A lot of people are just honing in on arbitrage bots on Polymarket and Kalshi. That's how a lot of people are making money right now. We'll see how XRP fares. U.S. Venezuela conflict, is a Bitcoin crash imminent? No. In fact, I think this is going to be helpful for Bitcoin moving forward. And this is good for miners overall, right? Miners, up until this point, needed Bitcoin to be above 80K to stay profitable, and they're going to. All right. Yeah, so we've got a ton of unlocks happening in January. This could be very interesting if you're looking to get into the market. This is something that I would probably pay attention to, right? All right, so the Trump DAO, I need to just talk about this because it made me laugh. Holders, there is a proposal put on a board, apparently, for people who own Trump in a DAO to figure out what President Trump should do with ousted dictator, if you want to call him that, Nicolas Maduro. Guys, I just want to let you know that that probably will have no bearing on what happens to Maduro at all. So if people are going to buy Trump to go be a part of this, decision-making process, I hate to break it to you guys. There's nothing that's going to be done in that process to influence the future path of Mr. and Mrs. Maduro. However, Ondo getting an unlock, Hype getting an unlock, and I think this is available to team members as well, just like the last one. Are these bullish unlocks? They very well could be. I mean, Hype at $26 is not a bad place to accumulate. So, my guess is that there's going to be some tokens coming live. People will cash out a bit. You can buy towards the bottom, again, not financial advice, and then gain a pretty significant position. That's what a lot of people will be doing, and hopefully there's an entry like that for you once this happens this month in January. Okay, so this is tomorrow. Hyperliquid's unlocking 12.4 million Hype tokens. BitGet, which is a CEX, 140 million tokens at 500 million. Okay, 80 million are allocated to the team, while 60 million go to branding and promotions. Okay, so that's a fairly bullish unlock, I suppose. You can't not expect people in this position, like if they're team and they get, they're past their cliff, they're gonna cash out. They should. Why not? One thing that we say is never apologize for taking profit. The biggest issue that people have these days is round tripping, where you don't take any profit, and then suddenly you're going up and the coin goes down, you're wishing you would have taken profit. That's called round tripping. All right, back to the news. Visa issued crypto card spending jumps 525%. Okay, that's not terrible. That's not large news. Really, people think there's going to be a supply squeeze here, a supply shock event. A shrinking exchange supply. I mean, I guess we'll see what Ripple wants to do here. If they want to make that happen, they can. I'm going to grab this just because um, this is important to our group. So the ability here is that the trilemma is that you can't have speed, security, and scalability all at the same time. That's the trilemma. You can get two of the three, but you'll always lose on the other. So with the update from Fusaka, that actually kind of solves all three to a point where they can kind of say that they're able to solve it. Now, would I say they're going to solve it? That's a relative term. They can at least address it, so all three can be balanced to a degree where they seem, pardon me, that it's going to be solved. Interesting. How are they going to do the ZK VMPs? Is that going to be through rollups? Is that going to be through just testing it out in specific nodes? Yeah, we'll see how this works out. But ZK proofs is something that Vitalik wants. Bitcoin devs have flocked back to work amid a big year for crypto. I mean, we'll find out what happens in Denver at the end of February. Looking forward to seeing as many people of you there as possible. That is the biggest Ethereum event of the year. People come from all around the world to flock to Denver to check that out. If you haven't been there, one of my favorite conferences. I love the side events. I love meeting people. Met a lot of great people last year for the first time. Would love to hang out and say hello to any of you. Oh, fear and greed is it neutral? Interesting. Mm. Crypto rich threatened to leave California after new tax. This happens on July 1st, by the way. We talked about this on our Total Value Lock podcast every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern. It's a new wealth tax that they're doing for crypto, and they're going to have like a bit license, like in New York, meaning that you need to have a specific license in order to operate in the state of California. Yeah, a lot of people are going to leave for that. They left New York. Not all of them, but a lot of them did. Or they just left the U.S. altogether. Coinbase pauses local fiat for a digital Argentinian peso. Yeah. There's one I wanted to talk about specifically that affects everyone. This one. There are emails going around specifically to enable 2FA. MetaMask instead of MetaMask. All right, let's break this down very quickly. Protocols and blockchains are not going to email you asking for details. If they do, it's not legitimate. In a world of self-custody, you have the choice of what wallet to use. MetaMask is a great wallet. We used it for years. We recommend Robbie now about MetaMask. But in the event that you use an email for anything else, you are putting a target on your back. This is why we always say, get a separate email for crypto activities. Get a bunch of them. MetaMask has no reason to email you over something like this. In fact, I don't believe they actually have 2FA officially for MetaMask yet. There's one coming with biometrics because they've included that now inside of the extensions for Avalanche and a couple other spots. And I believe it's in the IP and proposal specifically. Actually, was it in Fusaka? I think it might be up for Glamsterdam or Hegata. But the ability to use biometrics as a second factor when you're making transactions would be lovely, right? If you're doing it on mobile specifically, to have biometrics like Face ID or passkeys or something like that in order to make a transaction go through. These are good things that we want. These are good security things. Never fall for an email phishing scam. If you use OpenSea, a lot of people get hit by OpenSea because they think that something's wrong with their NFT. They're never going to email you on stuff like this, guys. This is absolutely a scam. Please do not fall for the email phishing scam. Always go through official details. If you're on their official Discord, ask in the Discord. If you're on their Telegram, ask in the Telegram. 99.9% of times, it is not legitimate. I dare to say 100, but sometimes I don't know. I get emails from crypto.com all the time. It is from them, by the way. But never, ever, 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 ever give away your seed phrase. Ever give away your seed phrase or your private key. Oh yeah, flow chain's getting beat up. This will be good. This will probably be good, something to read. Crypto regulations are changing around the world. It's not very long, apparently. Oh, it's not there. It's gone. Oh well. The 5-bit. Okay, this better be an actual thing. On-chain data from Nansen showed Solana, BNB chain, Base, Tron, and Near handled the most transactions in 2025 as users look for high throughput, low fee networks. Fine with Tron. Near did a lot of intent work, so. I don't know why they're going after this. I get why they're going after it, but it's funny because they're going to sit there and make the idea that, you know, successful investors should not be trading the stock market. But it's fine on prediction markets and it's fine in crypto. It's not going to work, brother. We'll see after tokenization happens on chain. Like if I go and create, if I go and buy a dividend stock and I can suddenly redeem it in kind on a blockchain, like get my dividends on chain, settled in USDC, how amazing is that going to be? It's going to come. It's coming. Okay. I thought there was a lot more news than this. It seemed promising before I came on stream today, but a lot of it here, and most of this, and this is all like just Cointelegraph and just major trade publications, right? On crypto Twitter through a network of other things that I'm not going to share here. There's some better stuff out there, but I was hoping that these guys would pick up some more stuff. Now we go to DeFi Llama, we'll see some other things too. Okay, let's talk about this. And I retweeted this, by the way. Let me pull it up. There we go. Hopefully you can read that okay. Basically, hundreds of wallets are being drained across EVM chains for under 2K each, with over 107K stolen and cost identified. Stay vigilant. Now, what you should do here, and the reason why this is happening, unless there's another reason that we can't figure it out, either way, you should not have any approval sitting on your wallets. I know that, for some people, like, it's just $10. I mean, they can just come through and just start extracting, depending on what's going on. Not sure exactly where this came from. I don't know if this is part of Trust Wallet being exploited as well. But revoke your approvals, whether you go through revoke.cash or whether you're using Rabby, which was what we recommend, and do the. Why am I not following either of the? Oh, never mind. I'm on the I'm on the Beacon account. I'm like, what? Yeah. Why not? You should not be keeping these on for longer than a week at this point. I would say, right after you're done, I would say weekly, twice a week, go through and just start revoking approvals. We're just at that point now where things are getting more complex, more interesting. It doesn't take much to, even if it's on the protocol side, revoke the approval so that the protocol cannot spend any of the cash that you've approved it up to a specific point. This is why we also say whenever you set up positions, never approve for more than you're actually putting in. So if you're going in and you're putting, $10,000 into account, approve just to 10,000. Don't do unlimited, any of that stuff, just 10,000, because you don't want to be in a situation where something happens and a protocol can then go and spend up to X amount of money. Now, I think that comes to a matter of common sense. If you happen to be doing larger amounts, I would revoke immediately after the transaction's been finished. Yeah. But we're now in a situation where you should be regularly revoking approvals. It used to be something that you should probably do once a month or whenever you do your routine, but I think you should do it more than once a week now. It's just coming to that. Are there ways around that? Yeah. I mean, if they make it so that it automatically auto revokes once the transaction is complete. I mean, how do you specifically do that? Do you make it an option and then say always auto revoke after finishing? That's something you could possibly do in a wallet. Are wallet creators going to do that? I don't know. Well, the last SEC henchman of Gensler's gone. Caroline Crenshaw. What's her name? Well, let's see what happens here. So now the SEC is all, President Trump appointed people. So they're definitely going to stay out of the way. Yeah, I mentioned Pepe coming back. Interesting. Oh yeah, Razzlecon. I forgot her name was Heather Morgan. Well, well, well. Turkmenistan legalizes crypto mining under state control. Okay. Stands are coming around, guys. The stands are coming around. Wow, deepen in crypto gaming led the end of year rebound? Interesting. I wouldn't have thought that. There's two areas that have been hit pretty hard since October 10th. It's gaming and deepen, mainly because, at least at this point, the majority of companies that have been around the last 2 years probably have run out of runway if they haven't made any meaningful gains to get to the mission. Yeah, nothing crazy here. I'm going to save this though because this is good information for analysis later on. Alright, Google News. As you know, we start here just going with crypto. PwC. Okay, so this is interesting. The Genius Act and the regulatory rulemaking around stablecoins, I expect, will create more conviction around leaning into that product and that asset class, which is from Paul Griggs. The tokenization of things will certainly continue to evolve as well. PwC has to be in that ecosystem. This is very telling of what a lot of different groups have said, especially if it's true that Tether made $8.8 billion in Q4, just this past Q4, because they made 7.9 apparently in Q3. And this is way up from 2024, where they made 2.3 billion in Q3. So I mean, we're talking big money now. PwC has to be in that ecosystem. Yeah, they're little by little, then all at once, right? Options traders. Oh, you silly degenerates. Yeah, so what we're looking at here now is specifically with all of this integration, what does 2026 look like from a crypto standpoint? I think this is a great headline, the next catalyst for crypto. Because now we're going to see specifically if the Market Structure Act, which is the Clarity Act, does pass, how does this look moving forward? Because the next step after this is specifically what does President Trump want to do tax-wise for US-based crypto companies? I know he's made some overtures saying that US-based crypto companies will have 0% crypto capital gains and business taxes, which is why you're seeing all of these companies doing these reverse mergers over the past 12 months, Tron being one of them, to become US entities. I think that has to be what's next on the table. It's all a matter of how is that going to look and how is that going to affect overall sentiment moving forward. Because as much as, if you want to use the word cypherpunk, oops, as much as that was such a huge part of what we're doing, do we want the US government being the leading catalyst for crypto and DeFi? Overall, the answer is no, right? We want to be in a situation where overall builders, individual builders, are going to be the ones that are going to lead this, not big entities whose pockets are lined through however you want to call it, right? We don't want to be in a situation where the President of the United States is the largest influencer for this industry. That's just not what we want. That's not what we've ever wanted. All right. Ah, yes, DeFi Llama. Let's head down to DeFi Llama real quick. Okay, so looking at the news here, and this is very, very soon. Just trying to see if there's anything here that we've missed that's interesting. This is interesting. Japanese finance minister supports crypto trading at stock exchanges. Again, more of this integration, right? That's going to be the big news of Q1 and H1, first half of 2026. How is crypto going to be integrated at every level? Now we're seeing this from multiple fronts, right? Kalshi and Poly market with that infrastructure, that's in everybody's face now. Are we in a situation where they're going to be competing with things like DraftKings and stuff like that? Yes, because they're going to continue to push. They're going to continue to push prediction markets over a variety of things. DraftKings, stuff like that. That's sports betting. We're talking about event prediction betting at anything you can think of. Elections, especially towards the end of the year, the midterms are coming, which are going to outline the next couple of years. We just saw the one for housing prices. I can definitely see it happening now for things like commodities. Oil will be huge. Overall current events, you can tokenize practically anything now with regards to how that's going to work. So we're going to have this integration at all levels where we're going to see not only just prediction markets, but AI-based technology. That's why we're so bullish on BitTensor, because they have a gigantic, if you want to call it, internet of digital super commodities that are going to be sold at the highest, at the lowest level to a bunch of different services, trying to find modeled information to get real-time insights to you as quickly as possible. Because that might be the next meta, right? How can we get as much information in the palm of your hands as fast as possible, right? Because we've come to that point. It went from personalization of information to now using LLMs and what we call quote unquote AI to generate more models, more accurate predictions, to be a companion to you on your second screen, phones, right? And people may say that they are scared of it, but this is, in a lot of ways, what a lot of people want. If you're a capitalist, this is what you want. You want to be able to have as many business insights as possible to help you make the right decisions. I once had a marketing company back in the 2000s, not to age myself too hard, on the idea on what if we could, because the statistic is that 7 out of 10 businesses fail within the first year. If we could find a way to keep that happening, to lower that number from 7 to say 5, what is that worth to business owners? A lot of money. A lot of money. And because of things like AI, it's getting easier for that. Also interesting, I saw this interesting insight where someone went to a if you want to call it a camp, I guess you could call it that, for startup entrepreneurs. So many of these people at these camps, they're under the age of 25. They feel that they need to make money sooner and faster to create a better life for themselves and their families. Nothing wrong with that idea, right? Everyone's got that quote unquote American dream, that entrepreneur capitalist dream to start their own business. I'm doing that myself, right? Difference is I'm not in my 20s. So best of luck to everybody out there doing it. It's tough, but we're in a new age where there's going to be, tax advantaged ways to do it, technologically advanced ways to do it, to do more with less. That's always been the thing. People hate the idea of AI because it's going to take away jobs. Guys, people are trying to do more with less everywhere. Look at restaurants. They're only open certain hours now because they can only keep staff for a certain amount of hours. You're seeing all these other things that are frankly AI powered, where that's how Amazon's going to replace their warehouse with more and more robots. Why? Because they don't need a break. They're faster. That way you can get your goods that you're ordering off Amazon same day. It's just the way of the world. It's no different. I was talking to my wife about this. It's no different than the Industrial Revolution, these ages of where, people are earning and getting into things like, the next revolution of media consumption. Up until, what was it, the 1800s, when the Industrial Age happened, horses were involved in so many things. Now horses aren't involved at all. It didn't take long for all that to happen either. Now there are horses that are still used as working parts of a manufacturing machine, right? I just realized I had a comment. No floods. Is this live? Yes, of course it's live. Thanks. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting week. It's going to be an interesting year. And I'm very curious to see where all of this goes. Oh, sorry. I just saw some chats here. OX Dior, I can't see what's written on this list. My apologies. I'll have to figure out what list you mean. Yeah, if you have any feedback, feel free to push through. Feel free to reach out. I definitely would recommend please follow me on Tweeters at C Soriano. Have a lot of great articles here. Working on more content, a lot more content over the next couple weeks. Going to be putting a lot more stuff out, helping people kind of understand what's going on. Because now that we have this specific where to go. Yeah. More and more people are going to be very curious about this. I was on a great call with a bunch of with someone who's heavily into Bitcoin related podcasts. And we're going to be in a situation where people are going to be interested and learn to figure out, one thing I think that BTC DeFi, or BTCFi as we call it, has had as an issue is that, and I'm wearing a Babylon shirt, shout out to Babylon team, and they're layer 1, which is BTC focused. There are a lot of Bitcoiners that don't want to spend their money. They don't want to spend their Bitcoin. They just want to hold it. It's a store of value. It's like gold. Why sell? There is a benefit of using your store of value assets as passive income. Do you need to use all of it? No, I wouldn't either. But if you want to take like 10 to 15% of the funds that you have in your store of value, and if there's a way to work them in a way that can get you passive income, getting you 6 to 10%, why would you not do it? And that's what a lot of working in this space can do with in terms of DeFi. Like if, for example, if you just hold all of your Bitcoin in a wallet, but you have a Coinbase account, you have a Kraken account, you have a Crypto.com account, you can take a very small amount of that. If you take it to Coinbase, you can withdraw it to Base. It'll be converted into CBBTC, which is their wrapped asset. Kraken has one as well called KBTC, and then you can go to their layer twos. Base has Base. Coinbase has Base. Kraken has one called Ink, and you can actually use it to stake your Bitcoin. It's a wrapped version of that, of course, and then borrow stablecoins to farm anywhere between 6 to 25 to 30% passive income. We have people in our group who literally do this just to pay capital gains taxes. That's how good it is. There's a dozen or more mechanisms that are available for you to do this. So, for those of you who are watching this, if it's your first time here, please feel free to reach out. If you're curious about things that education that you have, we have all that content available as well. Looking forward to talking with you guys and doing more. Anyway, Wednesday is the next show. Specific. Well, am I streaming tomorrow? I might stream tomorrow. We'll see. That'll be for more personal stuff normally. I do a lot of late night like gaming and reaction streams. But Wednesday is the Total Value Lock podcast. It's going to be at 1 p.m. Eastern here on all the current places you're watching it. So, with that said, that's all I got for today. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining with me, whereas I'm doing a little bit of work. So this is the Work With Me stream. And yeah, hopefully you got some work done too. Feel free to do so next time. Peace.